Following the Queen's death, attention has turned to the Commonwealth, an organisation of 56 member states she led for over 7 decades. Many are former British colonies in Africa. And even though the British monarch is no longer head of state there, some are questioning their relationship with the Commonwealth. So what lies ahead for King Charles, the new head of the organisation? Well, our Africa correspondent, Catherine Biru-Hanga, reports from Nairobi.
Kenya has seen its own transition of power this week. Thousands gathered outside the National Stadium hoping to catch a glimpse of 55-year-old William Ruto, who was being sworn into office. The Queen's death has also dominated headlines and led to discussions about Kenya's relationship with its former colonial ruler, Britain.
I was a bit sad. It's somebody I've known all my life. Well, it was sad, but it was hard time, so it's okay, we accept it. And we wish all the best to the new king, King Charles, yes.
It's sad that we lost a soul, but what they did to the African culture, to the African nations, to our wealth, to our organization of society, really, they need to come out and apologize to us.
We've seen leaders in Kenya and in Africa praising the relationship she had through the Commonwealth. Do you think the Commonwealth organization is relevant to Kenyans, to Africans?
It is crazy that we're even in that wealth, whatever that Commonwealth is. I've tried to research how we benefit as Kenyans by being in the Commonwealth, and it's not in the, it's not a common knowledge. It looks like it's just a benefit of a few leaders, a few people.
We still feel like we are treated as subjects, not as equals. The thing that separates us, and it's racism, and it's common. It's like a pandemic to me. I'll only say the only way we benefit from the sporting aspect, the Commonwealth Games, that's a good opportunity for our talented youths who are athletic.
The monarchy. Do you think it's relevant for Kenyans today? Should they care about it?
Yes.
Why?
Because they will help us to improve our economy and to improve our infrastructure in our country.
Look at most of the people here. They're all pretty young, below the age of 50, and it's a similar situation across this continent. Many won't remember colonial times, but they'll be questioning why they still need a relationship with Britain through the Commonwealth.
Inside the stadium, more than 60,000 people queued up all night to witness Ruto's inauguration.
That I will be faithful.
And leaders from across the continent, many of them Commonwealth nations, flew in for this moment. Some of them have been in power for decades. But they're all under pressure from their large youth populations who want better opportunities and jobs. Could the Commonwealth, a potential trading bloc of 2.5 billion people, help? Even on such a momentous day, it's still clear to see some of the lingering traditions left by the British in Kenya and other former colonies. Godfrey Sang is a history lecturer at St. Lawrence University.
Our military has the same ranks as those of the British Army. Our judiciary has the same ranks and the same courts and the same law.
The royal visitors stepped off into the hot sunshine of Nairobi.
The legend has been told many times. In 1952, Queen Elizabeth, then a princess, was here in Kenya when she found out her father had died, and she was to become queen and leader of the Commonwealth. The family of nations, as it's called, has grown since then. But this association was born out of the dying British Empire, and the fight for independence was a bitter struggle. Today, Mr. Sang believes the Commonwealth is failing Africans.
We haven't seen the Commonwealth come out strongly on issues of climate change. We are seeing poverty still very, very big in Africa. We have not seen the Commonwealth, address itself a lot to such kind of things. Access to opportunities, aid and not trade.
The Mathare network of informal settlements in Nairobi have a population of 500,000 people. Families living in cramped spaces, working hard to build a future for themselves. But even basic services like healthcare, water and electricity are hard to come by.
Education and jobs for young people have been a focus for the Commonwealth. This is where it thinks it can make a difference. And we've come to meet a charity that it funds to do just that.
Oasis Mathare trains young people on IT skills from coding to software engineering. The organisation says it has supported 14,000 people in the last 8 years. The group's founder, Douglas Mwangi, made headlines in Kenya when he visited Buckingham Palace to receive an award from the Queen in 2018. Since then, he's gotten funding from the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, including £20,000 this year.
The Commonwealth should continue on the legacy that was set by Her Majesty the Queen, supporting young people, giving them necessary resources, tools, network. Developing countries such as Kenya, we need a lot of support in terms of democracy, governance.
Kenya's new president, William Ruto, came to pay his respects to the Queen, signing a book of condolence at the British High Commissioner's residence. What does he think the future holds for the Commonwealth?
The way to reimagine the Commonwealth is to look at a trajectory, how the Commonwealth is going to play much more central role in the economies of our countries and in making sure that we leave nobody behind.
Leaving no one behind. That's a big ambition that many here would like to see. They're definitely hoping and pushing for more from their leaders here in Kenya and abroad.
Right, we've got time to have a look at some of the front pages of tomorrow's newspapers. We'll start with the Daily Telegraph. Their headline is "Nations Turn to Say Farewell." And you can see the photograph there of the coffin on the raised platform with the Imperial State